Alright, let's have a little look at part C now. You'll see another video for parts A and B. Let's have a look at C and D. C is calculate the median and interquartile range for the physics test scores in the sample. Alright, so we just got to get all that data into our calculator, right? And you can see that I've already made one, and P for physics scores, and in the first empty space, menu, statistics, stat calculation. It's just one variable we got in there, and we just go ahead and do the list, and the list is called P, bada bing, bada boo. Okay, so we want the median and interquartile range. So from here, look, there's all the data we need, right? So let's just go ahead and copy that down onto our paper. So we can see that for C, we've got a median, which equals 70.5. Q3, the upper quartile, is 75.5. Q1, the lower quartile, is 57. And so the interquartile range is just 75.5 minus 57, which I think I can do in my head. It's 18.5, right? But we just go check it with our calculator. So let's go to here, doc, insert a calculator, and we've got 75.5, subtract 57, boom, got it right, 18.5. Now let's have a little look at D. Draw a box and whiskers plot of the physics test scores in the sample, indicating clearly any data items which are outliers. Well, look, there's a number of ways of identifying outliers, and I'm going to do both ways. I'm going to do the formula way, and I'm just going to do the TI Inspire way. So an outlier kind of does this. Look, if you draw your box and whiskers plot, okay, now you can clearly see that on a scale, this would be the median. This would be 70.5. Now we'd really need this kind of ruled scale to be a proper scale. I'm just doing a quick rough sketch here. The upper quartile here would be 75.5. Lower quartile would be 57. So let's just make it a bit more realistic, right? Because that would stretch a lot further down, right? 57.5, 57, there we go. And so what we do is we use the ends, the quartiles, as starting points, and we say, right, if we have any data points which are beyond a certain place, anything here will count as an outlier. And we take that same distance and we measure down. Okay, so this is the magic distance that we add on to the upper quartile, and it's the same magic distance that we subtract from the lower quartile, and anything beyond that we say they're outliers. There's Q1 and Q3. And so what is this magic distance in blue? The magic distance in blue is 1.5, 1.5 times the interquartile range. So we've got 1.5 times 18.5. And I'm just going to switch to my calculator. 1.5 times 18.5, boom. So that's 27.75. Okay, so that's the distance that we add on to the upper quartile and the distance we subtract from the lower quartile to find our, beyond which is an outlier. So let's just take that answer and let's add it to our upper quartile. The upper quartile is 75.5. So anything beyond 103.25 is an outlier, but as this test seems to be out of 100, there is no outlier, on the large side. But then we can also take the lower quartile, 57, and subtract that 27.75, and that's 29.25. So this is a mark of 29.25. Anything below 29.25 is an outlier, and you can see, can't you, that actually student A for physics was an outlier. If you go back to here, student A for physics was an outlier. Everything else was okay. So there you go. That's the complicated method, and sometimes that is asked for on exams. So it's not kind of wasted. It's not wasted time spending on that. But for this particular question, as long as you've got a nice piece of graph paper or you draw a ruler, we could have gone straight to insert a data and statistics. Let's make this big. And of course, we just want to plot a graph of our physics scores. Yeah, that's lovely, right? You can kind of see that this looks a long way away from the other data points. But if we go to menu and we can choose a plot type, we can actually choose a box plot. Boom. And then this clearly indicates that this is an outlier. So you just kind of transfer this shape of picture onto a nice ruled line and have a scale. And you'd plot some points and you'd draw your box, right? So your box, lower quartile, median, upper quartile. This stretches out to the maximum value, which I think was 85 on the physics scores. And look, the lowest value here is 33 that you draw your line to, then you have a big gap and then you plot this point, which is an outlier. So that would be how to transfer this down onto a piece of paper.